Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm in the bathroom because this is where the best lighting is. So I had a few requests on, well, a few people asked me if I can give my review on the Nexplanon, well, the birth control Nexplanon, the one that goes in your arm, because I had it for a year and a few people were interested in knowing, well, my experience with it. So I'm gonna tell you guys today. But before I talk about it, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so I got the Nexplanon, I think it was June 26, 2019. It was like, what, 2 months after me giving birth to my son. They said that I think that's when I made my 6-week mark. I don't know, but I know it was June 26th. I knew that. But I didn't really, the reason why I got it is because I was like terrified of getting pregnant again. And they say like, oh, right after you give birth, like within them first 4 months, you have like a really high chance of getting pregnant. And I wasn't having it. I'm like, I don't want no more kids right now, so I'm gonna get on birth control. Because initially, that was what I wanted to do before I even got pregnant in the first place. But things happened, life happened, now I got a kid. And I'm thankful for him. But yeah, I got it June 26th, and the day that I got it, everything was fine. I thought it was gonna hurt. It was a walk in the park. They numbed my arm. Well, I'm terrified of needles, so everything just with needles and me is just horrible in the beginning. But after I see that it's fine, then you know I don't worry too much. But they gave it to me. That day. I was fine to the point where it was just me and my son that went, and I was able to drive home and be home. Like it's not like it do anything to you to make you feel like you're incapable of doing certain things, if that makes sense. Like you're still fine to do your normal activities that you normally do, but the only thing they do say is like, do not have sex within a certain, like, you know, period of time just to be safe. But if you do, use protection. Incapable of not driving or anything like that. I just kept doing what I was normally doing and going about my day. Then I think about a few days after, that's when I started spotting. But it's like, it wasn't bad, but it's like it was annoying because it would start, it's like you'll spot for like a couple days, like a whole entire week, and then it will stop for like 2 to 3 days, then you'll start back. And it's like it went on for like that for like until like late like early September of 2019. It went like that, like very consistent. Like it will go for 1 week, then it will stop for a few days, then it will go for 1 week, then it will stop for a few days. And after that, it just started being every single day. Every single day, it wouldn't stop at all. And I told my doctor, I went to my doctor that October, and I told him like, I don't like this. I don't think this is for me, because I'm spotting. I would want to spot every single day, nobody. But I'm like, this is not for me. I don't like it. And she's like, oh, I think you should keep it. We're gonna give you what's that thing called? More birth control to regulate it. And I started taking the birth control. It did kind of regulate it. But my problem is, I used to miss a few days. Like when it completely stopped, it will stop for like a week and a half. if I stop taking the pill, like it will like continue to not come, like I'll continue to not spot, it'll be normal. And I'm like, okay, well maybe it's regulated now, I can stop taking it. And I did that and it started again. And it started happening and happening and happening. And I'm like, that, like, I don't want to keep taking pills every single day. Like, nobody wants to do that. That's the whole purpose of me getting the Nexplanon, so I didn't have to take the pill, you know? So I stopped taking the pill and everything, and I was looking at different reviews to like lose weight. And I did it before with the if you know the apple cider vinegar, I did that one before, but I wasn't pregnant when I used it. I used it to like help me lose weight. I mean, I ain't got a lot of weight to lose, but still, I like my body a certain way, so, and I'm very picky about it. And when I don't look the way I want to look, it's an issue for me. And I was taking apple cider vinegar, and I was taking it for like a week, I think. And then the spotting started, it got really heavy. So it wasn't like a spotting anymore. It's like a period type thing now at that point. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is, but they do say whenever you drink apple cider vinegar, that like cleans you out on the inside. And I did that, and I guess that's what was the apple cider vinegar cleaning my insides out. And after that, I had no more issues. I wasn't taking the birth control pills anymore. Like, I feel like the apple cider vinegar regulated my whatever was going on with me. I feel like it regulated it. So I did that, and I started working out. I tried to eat healthy and stuff to like keep my body to the point where I needed to be. And I used to just like sit at home, and I used to breastfeed, mind you. And back then, I was tiny. Like, compared to me now, because I had to take the steroids, how I am now to where I was like last year around this time. And actually, it was last year around this time when all of this happened, when it got regulated and everything. And it's a big difference. I'm like, I weigh 150 pounds. I was like 110 pounds. Like, this, I've never been, this is the biggest I've been all my life, except for when I was pregnant. But this is not pregnant, just normal me. This is the biggest I've been, you know? And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do all of that, I'm just gonna stop breastfeeding at a certain point, because I said that I wanted to breastfeed for a year, but I stopped at like 10 months, when it was 10 months, because I'm like, he's pulling too hard, because they say boys pull too hard, and it's like he's sucking all the fat out of me, and it's like he was sucking the life out of me. And it was to a point where I got admitted into the hospital, and they were saying like I was having like a mini heart attack because of something that was going on. I can't remember, but they said I was having like a mini heart attack and was like to keep watching it and stuff like that. And I did that, so because of that, I stopped breastfeeding him. And I really didn't, how you put it, that's when, around the same time when I started with my hives. If you want to know about my hives, click the video right up here and you'll see it. And I started with my hives, so all of that was going on. So I'm like, maybe this is playing a part in my birth control. Like, I don't know if the birth control is making me have the hives, because they said in 1 in every 5 women, is it 1 in every 20, your reaction might be hives. And it's not saying that everybody's gonna get it or whatever, but some people do. And it could be the birth control, but nobody's 100% sure, you know? So the only way of me being sure is by me going to an allergist. And that was the first allergist that I ever went to. And he said, well, he don't normally see stuff like that. So I'm like, but he said, we're gonna try to rule it out. So what we're gonna do is get your birth control out. We're gonna take it out, and we're gonna see what happens. If your hives stop, then it was a birth control. If it doesn't, well, we know it was something else. And a lot of people were saying, like, when you have chronic urticaria, it's like something that's pertaining to lupus, and because it's an autoimmune disease. So I'm like, I don't know what that is. Hopefully I don't have it. I pray I don't. And they were saying, okay, well, we think it's urticaria, and we think it's this, and we think it's that, but they never like 100% diagnosed me with it. But they're saying they think it's urticaria, and they're thinking it's because it's like it ties in with the birth control. So something had happened. I think my hives flared up one night, and it was like bad, like really, really bad. So I went to the emergency room. I think at this point I'd already had it for a year. Yeah, I'd already had it for a year. Like, mind you, I didn't have no scar, and I had the one that lasts for 3 years. I didn't have no scar, no nothing. And now you can see a scar. If I did have a scar, it was like so tiny from where they put it in. And when I went to the hospital, I was telling them, like, well, this is what me and my doctor have been talking about, and we think it might be the birth control. Mind you, I'm at the emergency room, okay? And they said, oh, well, we don't take birth controls out at our emergency room, but 2 bright doctors came in and they tried to take it out. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and be ungrateful because I wanted it to be gone because of what I was going through, you know? But if you're not certified to do something on somebody, don't do it. Don't do it, because I could have ended up losing my arm, and what would have happened? I would have been armless, you know? And I need my arms. I need my entire arm. I need it. I just need it, you know? And they tried. It was 2 of them. They tried. Nothing worked. So they left me with a big old open thing, you know, area here, and sent me home with more. And they sent me home with more steroids. So back to steroids again. Like, every time they said they were taking me off, somehow, someway, they find a way to put me back on the steroids. Even though I told them, like, hey, I took steroids. You were looking at my medical history. You see now I was taking steroids at this point in time. Like, we should be here with each other because you're seeing all of this, you know? So I got the steroids. I got all the other medication that they gave me, and I went home. They gave me the things to put on my hands, right? So they gave it to me, and I went home. I went home now. Next morning, gotta wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Mind you, I work at, well, I was working at Jimmy John's at this point. And this is what, late August at this point. Yes, late August. So I'm at work. I'm looking at my hands, and you can literally tell that my hands are swollen, okay? You can literally tell that my hand, no, it wasn't the next day. I think it was like the day after. I don't know. It's either it was a day after or 2 days after, because my doctor called me for a follow-up, and I told her what was going on, because I talk to my doctor like twice a week sometimes. So she called me for a follow-up, and it's like I'm at work and I'm seeing that my hands is swollen. Like, all here was like high up. Like, you could tell it was swollen. It wasn't really high, but you can tell. And it was getting like really hard for me to like move it. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wait until I get off of work, then go to the hospital. So my doctor called me in like the middle of my shift. I think I had just started. No, I was just about to end. Like, in 2 hours, I was about to end. And she was like, oh, we were calling about your follow-up that you recently went to the doctor. And I heard about you took the Nexplanon out. And I'm like, yeah, they tried, but it can't come out. It was stuck in my arm. Literally, it was stuck in there. And I'd only had it for a year. So think about what would have happened if I had it for 3 years. 3 years. So I'm like, how is it stuck in my arm to the point where like they were digging and digging and digging and digging and nothing was moving? Like it was not moving. They couldn't find it. They did an ultrasound on my hand and everything. And it's like they can see it, but they can't get to it. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, they never got it out. It's still stuck in there. And now my arms are so, my arm is swelling up. And well, you mostly seen it here, but you could tell the rest of my hands were swollen. But the part that you seen the most was down here in my hands. Well, in my hands. So she was like, okay, what are you doing now? I'm like, I'm at work. She was like, you need to drop everything and go to the emergency room right now because that don't sound good. I wouldn't advise you to stay at work and keep doing what you're doing because it can get worse and we don't want that. So I went back to the hospital now and told them what was going on. It was like, oh, we're not allowed to do that. Who did that? Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, so y'all gonna keep playing this game over and over and over again. Like, come on now. And it's like, you try not to be mad at them, but at the same time, like, Lord, this is my life that y'all are messing with. Like, this is my life. Like, they've been getting on my nerve for the last few months. They even made me cry a few times. And I don't like, we're going to save that for another story time, okay? So, he kept going. They kept going and going and going and going. They got me back because they saw my arm, that my arm was swollen. And thankfully, my mom was there. My sister was with me. So, I had somebody to take care of my kid, and I know he was fine. And because my husband was at work, and he works all day long. Sometimes he come home, sometimes he don't. So, I was there all day. Thankfully, I took something to eat. Because I'm like, I'm going to find some way somehow to get me some food before I go there. So, I went home, changed, and I went and I got me something to eat. And when I got into the hospital, they were telling me a whole bunch of things. So they saw my hand. So they were like, oh, we don't want it to get infected. So at this point, they don't want nothing to do with my arm. Well, the ER department, where all them doctors are, they want nothing to do with my arm. Like nothing. So right there at the hospital that I normally go to, it's an actual hospital, but they have clinics in different areas in the hospital. And that's the same clinic that I went to when I was pregnant. So the OBs are right there. So, and it was around the same time that everyone was about to leave work. So one of the OBs was nice enough to stop what he was doing to come and examine my arm because they specialize in doing, like, you know, putting in and out with the birth control and everything. And he was like, oh, that don't look good. That don't look good. Okay, you sit right here and I'll go and try to get everything to try to figure you out. And at this point, I've been sitting in the room for like, well, waiting in the room for like 2 hours. And when he came back and he was talking to me and telling me it's not good. Oh, I got you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I'm like, okay. So he left to go out because he had to go do something. I don't know what he had to do. But he had to go do something and then come back to me. So I stayed there for another 2 hours. And finally he came back, and he came back with a whole bunch of equipment. And he was saying that, oh, we're going to have to cut your arm open a little bit. Mind you, I'm scared of needles. So what we going to do here? They have to get the little sharp looking knife looking things to cut me open and do all of this and do all of that. And I'm like, okay, all right, we can do that or whatever to just get it out because I can't deal with it. Okay, whatever, to just get it out. So he said, okay, he numbed my arm. He had to numb my arm like 3 times. 3. Because he just had to keep going. He was going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and he was not getting to the birth control like at all. He was not getting to it. So finally he got it. He was like, oh, I feel it, I got it. And he pulled it and he took it out like within like 10 minutes. He was messing with my arm for like 10 minutes. And he stitched it up. He gave me stitches and everything. And he was like, oh, you're gonna have like a pretty bad scarring. Well, he didn't say bad. He said he's gonna have like a little mark on your arm, but it shouldn't be too bad. But to me, I feel like it's bad. But you can tell where he stitched my hands everywhere, where the thread was and everything. You can tell where the little opening were. Like, I don't really like it. My Nexplanon, and after the Nexplanon came out, I don't like, pregnancy wise, it did an amazing job. It didn't get me pregnant. It was good for that. And the part is now with the Nexplanon is the aftermath of everything. The aftermath is, it's what, January now? I haven't had a regular cycle since I took it out. I haven't had a regular cycle since I took it out, since September of last year, right? And now they're telling me that, oh, well, my hormones is like really low, and it could be that I'm not making enough eggs. Like, I'm only 21, you know, and I'm not making enough what? I was one healthy peach before I put that mess with that little Nexplanon. I was a healthy peach, okay? A healthy peach. And now, like, as much as you hated your period, I just wish if I could have one so I could feel like I'm okay. Like, because I do want more kids, and I do want my son to grow up and have brothers and sisters, even though he already have a brother or whatever. But I want more kids for myself, you know, like, for me. Yeah, for me. So, I don't know. Like, I'm lost, I'm confused, and I just found this out. So that's the whole reason for me going to the OB, which I talked about in my last video, to go to the OB, because I have to do a vaginal ultrasound now, and they have to see if everything is okay with me. Well, I did my well woman check last year, and they said, oh, your uterus is beautiful, and all of this extra stuff that they were saying, and now they're telling me, well, that's not the case. So hopefully I'm fine. Hopefully it's not nothing for me to worry about. Hopefully it's some things that I could just get like a shot and I'm normal, because I want to be able to get pregnant naturally and do everything naturally. I'm not saying anything is wrong with somebody doing it by, you know, the other ways that they do it, but I want to be able to do it natural, and I think I deserve that. Every woman deserves that. That's how I feel. But time will tell. Hopefully when I go there next week, everything is fine and I have nothing to worry about, and I was just overreacting for nothing. Hopefully. But overall, if I had to give the Nexplanon a rate, I would rate it about a 4. Because I guess birth control is not for everybody. And my experience may not be your experience may not be mine. And that's just life, you know? Everybody have different experience with different things. And moving forward, I know one thing, I'm not doing it again. They gave me more pills to take the pills to regulate my cycle so I could get back, start getting it back and whatever. But I don't want to take no more birth control, and they're not understanding that. I don't want to take no birth control. I don't even care if it's a pill. Let's find some other way to make me feel better or to fix whatever. If birth control is the only way to fix it, then I'll take it. But if it's not, if they have like other methods, then okay, I'll do that. And I will also, that's why the whole reason why I'm on a diet. I can't eat certain things because my weight is getting out of control. I have to exercise 1 hour a day, which I haven't done so far. And I mean, I've been eating healthy. I've been eating way healthier than I normally do. I need to stop with all the fried food, but I've still been eating healthy for the most part. I don't eat as much junk food as I normally do. And I try to eat more healthier stuff, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. So hopefully everything is fine. That's all I pray for, that everything is fine, that I have nothing to worry about, that I can have more kids, because you not making enough eggs don't sound like a good thing. Not to me. Not to me, it don't. And yeah, I think the Nexplanon suck. That's my review on it. It sucks. I want my money back that I paid, even though I didn't pay for it, my insurance did. I want my money back. I want my whole year and however long I had it back, with all the headaches that y'all put me through, all the stress that y'all put me through. I want it back. I want it back. But I can't. So yeah. So that was my review on it. That's my take on it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.